All right, here we go. Johnson Stepper Instagram Q&A for you guys. You know the fucking drill. Let's get right to it. First question, how should I prep for starting a test cycle? So if you're starting a testosterone cycle, of course you want to do your research. All right, so that means know what you're getting yourself into. If you're 150% sure that this is what you want to do, because running gear is a lifelong decision, whether you like it or not, you're altering your hormones. You're playing God with your hormones. All right, and that could have lasting effects or it could not. Some people are different. But if you're going to start a testosterone cycle and you know that that's what you want to do more than anything in the world, then, 500 milligrams testosterone enanthate. Do some research. Look up testosterone enanthate. Look up aromatase inhibitors. You're going to need aromasin or Arimidex. Okay, so you're going to need testosterone enanthate. 500 milligrams, usually first cycles 12 to 16 weeks. You're going to need to control, estrogen on that cycle. What's going to help you with that? Aromasin will. Typically 12.5 milligrams 2 to 3 times a week. All right, that's what normally people will do on 500. Wait till you get estrogen sides until you start using aromatase inhibitors. Some people need more on that dosage, some people need less. Right? People ask, why not do 300? Why not do 200? You're just wasting gains. You're shutting yourself down for a TRT level of testosterone. Starting at 500, it shows you how your body reacts. Okay, so now you know how you react to the compound testosterone itself and how your body reacts to the estrogen that the testosterone will or won't, make. So that point is that when you're on testosterone, you want to know how to handle estrogen. You want to see how you respond to the compound. So only run testosterone, 500 milligrams a week, which is, you only need to pin it twice. And if you want, you can add an oral like Anavar, Turinabol, either the first 6 weeks or the last 6 weeks people like to do. But keep it very simple. But if you're not going to blast and cruise, which is stay on, pretty much for a while, I wouldn't run it. I wouldn't just do a blast and then hop off, because you're going to lose pretty much all your gains and you're going to feel like shit when you come off. Versus blasting and cruising, you blast, you cruise at a TRT level for a few months and you blast again and you continue to make gains. Are white toenails superior? Funny thing is, I'm not actually a huge fan of painted toenails. I mean, white does look very nice, but I'm not really into tasting toenail polish. You know the drill. Feet in the mouth. Come on now. All right. Is it cruise 125 testosterone or 300 test? I heard Sebastian Burka and Jordan Oakley arguing this. So cruise is whatever you want it to be. Testosterone replacement dosages, on the other hand, tend to be around 120, 150 milligrams, sometimes 200, 250 milligrams, depending on how you respond to testosterone. Where your levels are at, but a cruise doesn't necessarily mean testosterone replacement therapy. Some bodybuilders cruise on 500 milligrams testosterone. Some cruise on Test and Primo. Some cruise on Test and Deca. Some do cruise at 250, 350. I personally like to cruise at 250 milligrams. When I do come off of everything, just to give my body and my mind, a break. So who really cares? If you're talking about TRT in terms of doctors prescribing you, then yeah, it's typically around 120 to 250 milligrams. Height and weight. At the moment, I'm 6'2", about 240, and I'm on a cutting cycle. I'm about 4 weeks in, and I've gained like 6-7 pounds while getting leaner. That's just what Tren does. Daily calories. I'm eating around, I'd say 3,000 to 4,000. Maybe I'd say more like 2,700 to like 3,400. I really don't need to eat a lot to keep my size. I'm cutting, so I'm just kind of going with how my body feels. I never really count calories. I just like to keep my protein high, keep my carbs moderate. Size of your arms. Arms are a bit tiny, but without a pump, about 18. 18 and a half, 18 inches. My left's actually bigger than my right. What are your daily supplements? Well, in terms of just supplements, like not gear. Well, I guess I can include gear. Of course, growth hormone, I use metformin while on growth hormone, keeps me a bit leaner, makes me more insulin sensitive, which is good. You want that. I also use Adderall, prescribed Adderall by a doctor for ADHD. Without it, I'm more impulsive and I'm kind of useless as a human being. What else do I take? I take thyroid hormone, T4. My metabolism definitely slowed down once I got on gear. I don't know why, it just did. So the T4 is definitely something that helps me stay a bit leaner. I'll go into more in depth about the gear later, but that's pretty much supplements. I don't really take vitamins. I also take some blood pressure medications to control my blood pressure. It's runs in the family. Even when I was natural, my blood pressure is pretty fucking high, so I do need to run BP meds, and not prescribed. And I also, of course, Cialis every day for the Johnson gains. I also just recently added a diuretic. It's a moderate one. I forgot what it's called, but so far it's working pretty well. Best hype song for the gym, whatever really floats your boat. If you want to check my Spotify, Tren, check it out. I got a lot of songs on there. Best workout split. So I typically just do a push-pull legs. That's my workout split. How does Tren make a living? By doing this. This is how I make a living. By making content for you guys, by being an influencer. And you guys help me out, of course, by using my codes, which you guys do great at. You guys really support me. I quit my job, family business, 4 months ago. I was able to because of you guys. So I thank you guys for that more than anything. When are you going to get a haircut? Pretty soon here. I'm kind of itching for a haircut. Hair's getting pretty long, as you can see. Got a hat on. Messy hair day. Are you going to do a podcast? Yeah, I have 2 podcasts coming up. One with Dan the bodybuilder soon from Thailand. I already did one with him. And then, of course, when I go to Houston in March, early March, I plan on doing the Modcast, with Sush. If he wants me to be on it, I'll gladly do it. I'm definitely looking forward to hanging out with Sush and making more content in terms of podcasts and all that kind of stuff. What do you think about Milano Tan2? It's great for tanning. I recently just started it. I'm not really getting, crazy tan yet. Got to give it a few more days. But it's really good if you were pale or, you're white, super pale like I was, being German. Tanning was always a challenge for me. So I could pretty much turn into Mexican in 1 week. Are machines better for upper body too? For legs, machines are better for legs for me personally. I'm not a big fan of squats. Machines for me are just way more convenient. I get better pumps. I can train till failure a lot easier, and it's just more enjoyable. I like the machines. I was always really good at squat. I was squatting 405 for 7 at 18 years old, 185 pounds naturally. So I was really good at squat or deadlift. Those were the only lifts I was really strong at. But the thing is that my shoulders aren't really even. So it was always a pain in the ass for me to keep the bar straight on my back. I would be more focused on the bar not being straight than actually completing, the reps. So in return, I just do, machines for legs or some dumbbells. And upper body, it's, I used to love doing the bench press. And then I injured my shoulder multiple times. I've injured this one, pinched a nerve in my neck. I've had like 3 injuries in the last 3 years from doing, barbell bench press. But if I could do it right now, I would be doing it. So it's whatever whatever you feel a better mind-muscle connection with. But in terms of longevity, doing the machines is going to be a lot better on your body, a lot less stress, and they were made to target specific muscle groups better than like a compound movement. How did you get Tren back when you started? I looked it up. I found a website, ordered it, simple as that. On 500 Tren A and 250 tests, what you think, 2-to-1 ratio good? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Tren ratio doesn't really matter. It's whatever your goals are. Think of it like this. The lower the test you run, the leaner you're going to look, the less water retention you're going to have, the drier you're going to be versus higher test. You're going to hold more water. You're going to be bigger, more 3D, a bit more puffy. Even with Tren, if it's high or low, if that test it depends on the test, because testosterone makes you thicker. So the more you take, the thicker you're going to be as you increase the dosage of testosterone. your size is linear. You know, as you keep increasing it, you're going to get bigger. And it doesn't just mean muscle mass. It can mean water retention, mineral storage, all that kind of shit. What cycle do you like to run usually? I just like to run a test and tren. Test and tren for me is the bread and butter. It's all I really need, you know, for gains. I respond very well to tren. Not everyone does. Not everyone does respond well to tren like I do. In fact, most people don't. They can't handle it. Me, I respond really well. I don't lose hair. I don't get acne. I don't get mental sides as much as I used to anymore. Control my estrogen. I've matured over time. So it really depends. But what I'm running right now, I'm running testosterone, low testosterone. I'm running Tren, of course, around 300, 400 milligrams, depending on how I feel. I'm kind of a bit lazy on injecting every day. I'm running Masteron and Enthate, keep me a bit leaner. And I'm running dihydroboldenone, which most people don't really know about. It's like Primo times 4. It's a stronger version of Primo. It's very strong. It's twice as anabolic as testosterone and Deca. It's very dry. The only problem with it is that it's hard to find, and it's a literal pain in the ass when you inject it. Like some days I'm walking around like I got a stick out my fucking ass. But so far I'm really liking it. I'm on week 4. So, and of course all the other shit like growth hormone. Thoughts on body count in general? I mean, it doesn't really matter. If you're experienced with women, great. I believe it matters more for women than it does men. Typically women with lower body counts are valued more. Men with higher body counts are valued more indirectly from their experience with women. How many years of training until I should consider PEDs? I would say 2 to 3. 2 to 3. What keeps you inspired and tips on staying dedicated? So what keeps me inspired personally is, of course, my internal drive of being better, self-improvement. You know, I want to be better. I want to be the best version of myself possible. So that means bodybuilding, that means my personality, that means my temperament, that means financially, everything, you know, how I react to people, how I treat people. So I guess internally, I just always want to be better. I want to be the best I can be. I really value self-improvement a lot. But I'll also say that you guys are a big reason on why I'm so motivated to do what I'm doing every day. I wake up and I'm knowing that you guys are there. You guys, you know, love my content. You want me to post more. I'm motivating you guys to do better, which in return motivates me. That I have the ability to motivate you guys, you know? So you guys really are a big part of my motivation and why I'm doing this and why I want to post more. Because, you know, I used to think, man, no one would look up to me. I'm like, why would anyone look up to me? You know, I'm just a normal guy. And then all this shit happened, and, you know, I'm really at a loss of words, but I love it. You know, I love that I can motivate you guys. I tend to, you know, tell you guys, if you heard me say it, do as I say, not as I do. So don't do as I do as I say. Because I don't always make the best and smart decisions. I'm not perfect. But I find over time, I found that I tend to offer better advice for others than I do myself, which is something I need to work on, you know, down the line as I'm, you know, getting older. So yeah, I'm staying dedicated. You just have to keep going. You know, never be satisfied. As Arnold says, stay hungry. What's my diet like? Right now, eggs, toast, Gatorade, cream of wheat. I really like cream of wheat over oatmeal. Doesn't mess with my stomach. What else? Sandwiches. I really big sandwich guy. Spaghetti. I love pastas, chicken. I've been eating more chicken and rice. I know I said I would never eat it, right? But here I am, trying to be a bodybuilder. You know, living the bodybuilding lifestyle, eating chicken and rice here and there. I like the Greek yogurt, protein shakes, the Dimetize. I really like those. Yeah, pork, steak, whatever really I could eat, I'll eat it, you know. I'm just eating a lot less fast food than I used to. In return, it's really doing wonders for my physique, and me being on Adderall, prescribed it. It helps with my impulsive eating, because when I'm not on Adderall, I lack a lot of dopamine and I don't really want to do anything. So my mind I don't want to cook. I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay in bed. And as you guys remember, when I'd eat fast food a lot, the reason why I was doing that is because it made me feel good. It was easy. It was simple. It was like a cheap high for me. It was just impulsive eating, really. I just don't eat as much. Some days I'll eat 2,500 calories. Some days I'll eat 3,000. I kind of just go off how my body feels. I find that over time, as you know your body, you know what works. You don't have to be super autistic about what you're eating. Just know what works. Your body will typically tell you. Biologically, that's what it's made to do. But I always like keeping the protein high. Can I inject Tren into my Johnson tip? Yes, actually, this is the best, place to inject it because you want your Johnson to be as big as possible, right? We all do. It can never be big enough. So, of course, you inject in the tip, you might get some girth gains and some length gains. This is why we live as men, to make our Johnsons better. What's the best pre you ever had? I would say the best pre-workout I've ever had was one called God of Rage. It's old. It's not really out anymore. It was an original formula with DMAA in it, and this shit was crazy. I was hitting PRs as a natty like every time I took it, on deadlifts, on squats. So that was my favorite pre-workout. I also liked one called Zeus, which was really nice with DMAA in it. But right now, I'm not as a big stim junkie as I used to be. I mainly just take Woke as Fuck and BAMF, from Bucked Up. I have a code with them, Tren1 caps with the 1 at the end. That's my code. The reason why I like those pre-workouts, they taste good. They're consistent. I know what to expect. I'm not going to get a crazy crash. I can take it every day. And it's a strong pre-workout for just caffeine. It gets the job done. So I feel like the best pre-workout for you is something you can take every day that helps with your workouts. The DMAA pre's, I really, love them, but after a while, you're taking them twice a week, 3 times a week, the effects tend to wear down, and they're definitely not as healthy. Not saying I care about that, but if you do, keep that into consideration. What's your drink of choice? Gatorade at the moment. I'm not really alcohol drinker. I don't drink alcohol. How attracted are Stacy's to shy hung alphas, you'd say? Very attractive. Obviously, Stacy's love shy hung alphas. They can't resist it, especially if you're on gear. The pheromones are just too strong. Instantly gives, giny tingles. Panties are ruined in a 5-foot radius. It is what it is. Women don't always like the loud guys. They like the shy guys in the corner that are pumping the iron and that don't want to be looked at. That's what they want at the end of the day, the mysterious guys. I take Cialis with pre. Yes, you can. Cialis is not a steroid. If you want to take Cialis, go for it. They have it on Amino Asylum. You could use my code there, code Tren, of course, or you could, use it, get it somewhere else. But yeah, it's safe to use. It's great for pumps. I use about 20 milligrams 2 to 3 hours before the workout. And not only is it good for pumps, but it's good for, Stacy action as well. You have a Stacy over, you take it for the pump, and then it lasts about a day and a half in your system. So the time you meet up with her or whatever, you know the drill. When's the Alpha Land vlog coming? I'll be there from March 1st to March 7th. So early March, Tren will be at Alpha Land. Do you recommend reaching natty potential before hopping on anything? No, because natty potential doesn't exist necessarily. Like, how do you know when you've reached your natural potential? When as a natural, your testosterone levels change. They go down, especially as you get older. So how do you know if you reach it at 35 or if you've reached it at 25? The whole idea of the natural, wait till you reach your natty potential, is just bullshit spread by other bodybuilders who are on gear. So you could buy their natural products and put more money in their pocket. Because no bodybuilders waited until they, most don't, until their natty potential. They get on as soon as they can, like when they're 18, 19, or 20, or even some, don't advocate it, got on even younger than that. So natty potential is bullshit. I mean, as long as you have some training experience, you know how to train correctly, it's what you want to do, you know how to diet, then, all power to you. Would anything ever make you stop doing Tren? Yeah. When I'm older, of course, if I have a family, I don't plan on taking it forever, just using it while I can to progress my physique. I enjoy the compound. And when I get older, I'm obviously not going to be on gear like that. I'm still going to be on testosterone for the rest of my life. I might add other compounds that aren't as, I guess, unhealthy in the long run. But I'll always be on gear. I'll never come off of it. I'll always have high testosterone levels of an 18-year-old male. It's just my choice. I have the power. And in terms of kids and fertility, people say, oh, you want people to have kids. They make fertility drugs for a reason. There's guys that have gotten women pregnant while on a Tren cycle, a Tren blast. So, in terms of fertility, if that's an issue, I'll just take fertility drugs. Do you take anything for hair loss? No, I do not. I don't lose any hair. I could run 2 grams of Tren, 2 grams of Mastron, 3 grams of testosterone. It's a stupid cycle. Don't run that. I've never ran that, but if I wanted to, I could. My hair would be the same. In fact, I don't even grow much body hair anymore. I did when I first cycle when I was 19, but for the most part, my body hair is normal. My beard just gets a bit thicker and my hair grows faster when I blast. What is D-Tren's favorite oral? My favorite oral is going to be Anadrol. I ran it when I was 20 at 100 to 150 milligrams per day. By the 4th day, I was hitting 225 on bench for 27 reps. Like nothing. It just blew me the fuck up. It felt like as I increased the dosage from 50 to 100 to 150 milligrams, my arms just got bigger and more veiny. Definitely a bulker oral. Just made me feel good, made me horny, hungry. I ate on it, made me strong. I was focused, locked in like a Terminator. And it was my favorite. It made me hold some water, gave me a little bit of acne, just slight acne. And it did fuck with my blood pressure quite a bit. But other than that, it was my favorite. What is your main job outside of bodybuilding? This is my main job. Why am I taking S23? Okay, so if you guys don't know, S23 is a SARM. I got it off Amino. It's an extremely strong SARM. If you're going to take it, you need to take testosterone with it because it will shut your tests down. But the reason why I'm taking it is I did research into it and found out it's just like Winstrol without the joint drying, effects. So I've been taking it for the last probably 4 to 6 weeks, and it's really helped with keeping me a bit leaner, keeping my energy higher, more vascularity. If I could compare it to anything, I would compare it to an oral Mastron with stronger androgenic mental effects, so like strength, focus, with a moderate but noticeable cosmetic effects such as drying out and increase in vascularity. It does build muscle too, but I believe it's not as strong as shit like Tren or DHB or high dosage testosterone. Winstrol gave me a better look versus S23, and S23 is cheaper and, from what we know, less toxic than Winstrol, but Winstrol also fucked my joints up, made me feel like an 80-year-old man. So that's why I'm taking S23. Most Mastron I've ever done, I've ran up to a gram of Mastron for a few weeks. I didn't want to keep running it at that dosage because I was just annoyed with pinning it that much. But I tend to run Mastron around 700 to a gram. I like Mastron a lot. It's really moderate. It's a weak steroid. It doesn't build a lot of muscle mass. You're not going to get a lot of muscle on it, but it does give a nice cosmetic effect if you're moderately lean. The leaner you are, the better you're going to look on Mastron. So if you're 22% body fat, you won't notice much. What was the Alpha Daddy D-Tren like in high school? I was a very angry kid. I didn't have a lot of friends. High school, I played basketball. I did track. I was very athletic. Started dunking a basketball at like 13. I went to section finals when I was 17 for track, long jump, jumped 19 feet. But if I could describe myself to sum it up, I would say I was very introverted. I was very angry. I was emotional, sensitive, and just negative. I still had kind of the same internal drive of wanting to be someone great. I wanted to be a basketball player. I wanted to be someone special, but I hung out with the wrong group of people. And by doing that, I didn't make the best decisions. My grades were not great. I didn't have any goals of going to a big college. I mean, I did for basketball, but I never took school seriously. many people knew me from high school and they see me now and it's like totally different person, not just physically, but mentally how I act. I don't act anything like how I used to act, and that's a good thing because I was very immature, I was very aggressive, and if it wasn't for bodybuilding and finding the gym once I did when I was 17, you know, I probably would be in jail. You know, I would have kept doing what I was doing, which was nothing. You know, I was doing dumb shit. You know, I was making dumb decisions. So I thank bodybuilding for that. That's why I love it so much, because it kept me out of trouble. It kept me, you know, focused. It gave me motivation to live. You know, not to make it sound like that, but it gave me a reason to keep going. All right, boys, you know the fucking drill. Thank you guys for supporting. You guys mean everything to me. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A. I'll answer some more on Instagram. All right, baby. Shining Alphas, you know the drill.